Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Cecilia Laurence Pangaribuan, and I'm majoring in Management, Faculty of Economy and Business. And for today's presentation, I will talk about must-know sales words and phrases. So I made 10 words and phrases, so I am going to present it. The first word is client. It is a noun. And the definition is a customer or someone who receives services from a professional person or company. Um, for example, we always aim to give our clients personal attention. And Mrs. May has been a client of this firm for many years. So in general, clients are people who buy intangible services, or for instance, is like advice, like lawyer gives to a person is an advice. The second one is guarantee, is a noun. Guarantee is a promise that something will be done or will happen, especially written promise by a company to repair or change product that develops a fault within a particular period of time. For example, like the system costs $90, including shipping and handling, and 3 years guarantee. The second one is the United Nations has demanded a guarantee from the army that the food convoys will not be attacked. So do not be mistaken by guarantee and warranty, because these words may seem similar, but they have different definition. Guarantee is more general term and warranty is more specific term. For instance, that is written and legal. Third one is to buy in bulk. It's a phrase. So to buy in bulk is buy one product in a large quantities at one time. For example, because we're such a large family, we find it cheaper to bulk buy foods we eat a lot of. And the second one is with bulk buying. You save a lot of money, a lot of time by not having to order each resistor or capacitor individually. So if you lower a price towards some items, people would be easily to be convinced to buy in bulk. So this thing works certainly for a food that can stay in a longer period of time, or other items that also could stay for a longer period of time. And when customer buy in bulk, you sell more and they pay less. And the fourth one is prospect, is a noun. Prospect is the possibility that something might happen in the future, especially something good. For example, the market remains skeptical about the bank's prospect, and frequently a salesperson has only a limited amount of time for contact with customers and prospects. As a human being, customer or client like to be treated as individuals and not a potential source of income or take advantage of them. But you can use this word with your sales team, or you may come across it when researching the market. And the next one is bargain. It's a noun and also a verb. Bargain as a noun is an agreement between two people or groups in which each promises to do something in exchange for something else. For example, sales had started and the bargain hunters were out in force. And for the verb, to try to make someone agree to give you something that is better for you, such as a better price or better working conditions. For example, unions bargain with employers for better rates of pay each year. Customer may be persuaded by claims that a product is a decent bargain. You will want to sell it as having a good price or quality ratio, rather than merely being inexpensive. And the next one is sales pitch, is a noun. Sales pitch is a spoken description or talk about a product or service you are trying to sell, intended to persuade people to buy it. For example, part of the sales pitch was that as long as an account remains in credit, one could make any number of cash withdrawals without bank charges. And the next one is, if product talk functioned as a statement of opinion, we could expect to see more elaborate positive evaluation by the salesperson, a bigger sales pitch. When you're doing sales pitch to attract or persuade customer, you need to have a good communication skill. So you have to try, do not memorize what you have to say to the customer, but make it like you already know what you're going to say. Like you master it and present it to the customer and make them interested about what you say. So the next one is retail. It's a noun. Retail is the activity of selling goods to the public in stores, on the internet, etc., rather than selling to to stores or other businesses. For example, organic food is one of the largest growth areas in food in the UK in retail. And the money is going from the soft dish industries such as financial services and retail to manufacturing industries. As a store assistant, you need to comprehend the retail process and how the buyer think. They want to obtain the greatest deal possible, but that doesn't necessarily imply the lowest price. So you have to try to talk to them and find out what their requirements are, and more importantly, what their desires are. So you could help them make selections, because it might be difficult for them to choose with so many goods to choose from. The next one is to submit an invoice. Is a phrase. To submit an invoice is to send or provide a purchase bill. For example, an invoice must be submitted by the 24th of every month. The next one is, another method is to allocate the total cost over 2 years on the basis of work invoiced. Avoid discussing payment paperwork until the customer is completely convinced, since this may make you appear impatient and unprofessional. Invoices are formal papers that are extremely significant, but they should only be discussed after the transaction has been completed or successful. And the next one is supplier. Is a noun. Supplier is a company that provides a product or the materials to make a product. For example, like they used to be a leading supplier of medical equipment, and considered an electronic cash carrying agent which migrates to some supplier server. A good provider must be communicative and adaptable. They must also be dependable and economical. Yeah, and the last one is to close the sale. Is a phrase. To close the sale is to complete the transaction or to close the deal. For example, Andy teaches me how to close the sale in the correct way or in a good way. The next one is, close the sale isn't that hard if you learn very well. In sales, closing is crucial. You've essentially spent your time by not concluding, and you have to inform consumer who will most likely buy elsewhere. To close the sale, you must first assist the consumer in making a choice. So that is for my presentation today. Thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. See you next time.